So another new batch of Epstein-related files has been released. Will this help with public suspicion, outrage, speculation of a cover-up? Probably not. For most Americans, I think the issue isn't just who's mentioned, but who's still missing. Trusted institution. Look, it hinges on transparency. In this case, this Epstein case, does not feel very transparent. And so as documents are released, questions keep coming up about accountability and transparency. Let's bring in Roshini Rajkumar, crisis strategist, licensed attorney, and host of the Crisis Files podcast. Good morning. How are you?
Hi, Kevin. Transparency and just lingering. This thing keeps going on and on and on.
I know. And, Pam Bondi announced that she's reopening parts of this investigation. And the first thing I thought is, oh, my gosh, is this an opportunity to not have to release certain documents because it may be part of the ongoing or reopening of the investigation? And if I'm thinking that, you know what the internet's thinking.
Exactly. One of the lines that makes sense for me is they do need to redact as well as, or, black out, whatever you call it, and cover any victims' names, images, those kinds of things. And that does take time if you're talking about thousands of photos or thousands of documents, whatever the numbers are. But that is actually what the Justice Department should then lead with. They really shouldn't focus on who the pictures are of the alleged perpetrators. They should focus on what they're trying to do to protect the safety and the privacy of the victims. And that would be better messaging in general. But again, it is sort of crazy to me that this keeps on going, and both sides have made it very political.
Yeah, you need to redact this stuff. It's important. The victims are the most important people in this story, and we have to remember that. And so the redactions are necessary. But as the documents come out and so much is redacted, people tend to think this isn't all about protecting the victims. It's perhaps about protecting powerful and rich people. And they worry about that. And you'd like to think that the Justice Department will follow the law. And they've been ordered to not redact things that would be redacted just because things are embarrassing. I mean,
there should be a standard. It should be very clear. And rules of evidence are there. Those are the kinds of things that the Justice Department should be spelling out to us and explaining. Here's what we're using. Here's who gets to be protected. Here's what gets redacted. Here's what doesn't. Because otherwise they just look like they're protecting whomever is in office at that time. And currently, you're looking at Donald Trump. Another thing I want to say, Kevin, is just because there are pictures from decades ago of Jeffrey Epstein with different people, and I know recently of Bill Clinton. I mean, as much as we know Bill Clinton isn't the squeakiest clean ethically, we can't just assume that he was part of crimes. So this can't turn into McCarthyism, where just because you were in a photo from the 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s, you're automatically a conspirator in this big criminal operation.
No, you're right to remind people of that. Isn't it interesting, though, how images just carry so much more impact than like a name being in a document? Like I remember hearing about, so-and-so was on the flying list or whatever the list is when you fly in and out of the island. All of a sudden, images come out and they just seem to have so much more impact, but they don't necessarily mean anything at all.
They don't. And I'll share just a personal anecdote. We had a mayoral election here in November. It's an odd year for Minneapolis and St. Paul. And there was a picture that was, I'm part of my work. I'm a professional speaker. And I was hired years ago to MC the opening of this big high rise of this business to sort of harken back people and businesses to downtown Minneapolis, which has suffered so much. And there's a picture of me with the mayor of Minneapolis, who just got reelected. He was the mayor at the time, and another leader in Minneapolis. And it was taken, I think we all might have posted it on our various social platforms. It was the most innocent of photos. And in this mayoral election cycle, the opponent, one of the key opponents of the Minneapolis mayor, pulled that photo because the other person in the photo was about to be convicted of some crimes and wanted to slander his mayoral opponent. And here I am in the middle of the photo. And and the photo, by the way, was never identified, didn't say where, what date line, anything. And I was getting texts from different people saying, by the way, you're in this photo that's going out on this mailing list. And I thought through it. I talked it over with my husband, and here I'm a crisis strategist, right? And we just agreed if I responded or tried to ask them to, clear up why my picture is in there, it would just create more crazy headlines. So I left it. It went away. But that's an example, Kevin, if we don't discern and ask the right questions.
And what was your role in the criminal conspiracy?
There was no role. I mean, I'm probably as squeaky clean. I mean, I parallel park properly. I want to park between. I mean, it's pretty darn crazy. If anyone could dig anything up on me, it's you. And I don't think there's anything else there.
You know what's interesting is if they had blurred your face out, it would have created more questions like, well, why is this woman's face blurred out, and who is she, and what is this all about? I mean, it's just
right.
It's just crazy. That's why I don't think you can ultimately win. I don't think America's going to be happy no matter what happens with this Epstein case. Do you think like Bill Clinton should respond to these pictures right now? Donald Trump is defending Bill Clinton by saying, I don't think it's a big deal that Bill Clinton's in these pictures. This guy Epstein knew everybody.
As they say, politics make strange bedfellows. I mean, think of all the times in your reporting, your show hosting. I interviewed thousands of people on my Sunday radio show, now on my podcast, 3.5 years in. We take pictures with all our guests. If one of them ends up being accused of something, does that all of a sudden make me, you know what I mean? I mean, people have to be smart, and the journalists out there need to ask the questions. They can't continue to perpetuate unconfirmed photographs or accusations.
So how should the Justice Department proceed if they want to avoid more crisis here?
Well, I think they should put everything out there that they can, but do it one time. I mean, how long does this need to go on? Or give us a deadline. Everything we have that we've gone through that we can put out there to the public is going to be out by January 15th, 2026. I mean, give us a deadline, and then let's just be done with this.
I think they had a deadline, and they missed it.
Yeah, they missed it. Well, that's the thing. I don't know why this keeps on lingering. It just defies logic, Kevin.
Because they have to get the important, powerful people out of the reports before they release them. Oh, what a mess. What a mess. Roshini Rashkumar, crisis strategist, licensed attorney, host of the Crisis Files podcast, and woman in suspicious photo with criminal organization. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Kevin, and happy holidays.
Yeah, happy holidays to you as well.